You're welcome. This is the Messiah Revelation Ministry. We are a prophetic ministry dedicated to the end times. We are pilgrims on earth. And how do we live our lives as pilgrims on earth? Here we are talking about those who are planning to spend eternity. You spend eternity either in heaven or you spend eternity in hell. There's no middle ground. And it's important to know your status in the world. How do you identify your status? Who are you? And the answer is found in Psalm 119, verse 19. The psalmist is identifying who he is on earth. Psalm 119, verse 19. And we read that for the record. Psalm 119, verse 19. I am a stranger in the earth. Hide not thy commandments from me. The psalmist is saying he's a stranger on earth. He was born from the womb of his mother and came to the world, descendant of Abraham, a descendant of Adam, a descendant of Methuselah. All of them are pilgrims in the world. Methuselah lived, he lived for 969 years, but he left the world because he was a pilgrim, a stranger in this world. So the psalmist is recognizing his status in the world, that he is a stranger, and is making one petition to God who created the universe, that God should not hide his commandments from him. He wants to know the commandments of God. As a pilgrim in this world, he wants to be law abiding, and he wants to know the commandments of God so that he will follow the commandments of God, because he knows that there are consequences for those who do not obey the commandments of God. The psalmists are aware of that. And so Psalm 119, verse 21, describes the proud and what the Lord has done to the proud. Psalm 119, verse 21. Thou hast rebuked the proud that are cursed, which do err from thy commandments. The Lord has rebuked the proud, and the proud is also cursed because they have erred from the commandments of God. The Bible is clear, all have sinned and have fallen short of the glory of God. And so the pilgrim in this world, those who are proud and those who do not seek for the commandments of God, those who transgress the law of God, they are cursed. The psalmist doesn't want to be cursed. The psalmist is aware that he is a pilgrim in this world. He is a stranger. And so as long as he's a pilgrim in this world, he wants to know the commandments of God so that you follow the commandments of God. The pilgrim is aware that the earth is not his home. His home is heaven. And so he wants to be heaven focused. Who else was a pilgrim? Abraham was a pilgrim, and he lived like a pilgrim, a wise pilgrim, someone who knew his status in the world, and he knew he was a stranger in this world, and he knew that he had to live a certain lifestyle because heaven is his home. And Hebrews talks about it. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 9 and 10 talks about a pilgrim, Abraham, who was a pilgrim, and he lived the life of a pilgrim. Hebrews 11, by faith, by faith, He sojourned in the land of promise, as in a strange country, dwelling in tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob, the heirs with him of the same promise. And this is how Abraham lived, knowing that he was a pilgrim, knowing that he was a stranger in the world. He lived in tabernacles. He lived in tents. He lived with Isaac and Jacob. Isaac and Jacob are his children and grandchildren. They live in tabernacles. They live in tents. And they were aware that even though they were the heirs of the promise given by God Himself, they were strangers. They had to live like strangers because they were expecting a better home. And the Bible talks about their expectations in Hebrews chapter 11, verse 10. For he looked for a city which have foundations. Abraham recognized he was a stranger in the world, and he was a heir to the promise of God, but he knew that there was a better city, and he looked for a city which have foundations, whose builder and maker is God Himself. And this is how Abraham lived, knowing that he's a stranger, knowing that the world is passing away, and knowing he has a better country, which is heaven. He lived, and he actually was humble. He lived in tabernacles. He had money, but he lived in tabernacles with the heirs of the promise, Isaac and Jacob. And the life of Abraham is an example for us. If we recognize that we are mere strangers in this world, and it tells us how we should live. Because we are strangers, we are looking for an eternal home. There will be two eternal homes, either the home in heaven or the home in hell. But Abraham was wise, and whilst he was on earth, he recognized his status as a pilgrim, and he was seeking a better home, the one that had foundations, good foundations. And the maker is God Himself. And God has prepared a place for His children who are pilgrims in this world. He has prepared heaven for them. And the Lord is proud of the place He has prepared for His people. And Hebrews 11, verse 16 talks about it. But now they desire a better country, that is, an heavenly. Wherefore God is not ashamed to be called their God, for He hath prepared for them a city. And the Lord hath prepared a city for His people. And the city is the New Jerusalem, and it was shown to Apostle John. That is the eternal city, and that the city that Abraham was looking for. And so he recognized that because there's a better city, the heavenly Jerusalem, he would rather live in tabernacles for a temporary time, for a short time, while Abraham is still a pilgrim in this world. And that's why Paul is advising us that there is an eternal home, and the eternal home is heaven. We need to be heaven focused. And because of that, Paul was advising the people in the Philippians. He was advising the Philippian congregation. Philippians 2, verse 12. I advise you to work for your salvation with fear and trembling. Because you are a sojourner in this world, wherever you are, whichever country you are living in, whether the country is your native country or is an adopted country. You are a stranger. You are a pilgrim in this world, and you have to work for your salvation with fear and trembling. And if your home is the eternal home, that is heaven, Hebrews 11, verse 16 says that God has prepared that place for you. And the Lord is proud that He has prepared a better place for you. And that place is for eternity. And the world is passing away. And so in 1 John chapter 2, verse 17, it states that the lust of this world and the pleasures in this world, they are all passing away. It is only the word of God that will not pass away. And so the psalmist is saying that the Lord should not hide his word from him, his commandment, his statutes, so that he will obey the commandments of God. Because he's building his future. The psalmist is building his future, and his future is not on this earth. It is not in this world. The future is in heaven, is in the new city, the new Jerusalem that has been prepared by God for his children who are mere pilgrims in this world, and they are looking for a better home. And so the question you ask yourself is, how do you prepare for the eternal home, which is heaven? You prepare by first of all finding the commandments of God whilst you are on earth. The psalmist is saying the Lord should not hide his commandments from him because he wants to follow the commandments of God. The psalmist is preparing his eternal salvation, and he's looking for the commandments of God. He doesn't want to be like the proud who is rebuked and who is cursed because the proud does not obey the commandments of God. The proud is prepared for hell. His eternity will be in hell. But for those who obey the commandments of God, their eternity is in the New Jerusalem, prepared by God, and he's proud to be the God of his people, and that is the city that Abraham was looking for. You need to be aware that it's appointed unto man, a woman, and all humankind to die once, and after that, judgment. We need to be having focus because the trumpet will sound, and those who have prepared their lives consistent with the commandments of God, they will hear the trumpet of God. It will sound, and they will be heralded to the eternal home, that is the new Jerusalem. And it is a city that the Lord has prepared. And Hebrews 11, verse 16 talks about it. It talks about Abraham, but now they desire a better country. And that is heavenly, wherefore God is not ashamed to be called their God. For he has prepared for them a city. A city has been prepared. It is the new Jerusalem. And so we need to be heavenly focused. And Stephen was heavenly focused while he was on earth. At the time when he was being persecuted, when his enemies were stoning him, he raised up his head and he focused on heaven, and he saw heavens opened. He saw the Messiah Jesus sitting on the right hand side of God, surrounded by angels. So he forgot the persecution that he was passing through, because Stephen knew that the persecution he was passing through on earth was temporary. The earth is a temporary place, and Stephen was a sojourner in the world. Stephen was a pilgrim in this world. We are pilgrims in this world, and the persecution and the sufferings that we are passing through are just temporary. In the same way that the pressures that we are enjoying in this world, they will be temporary, because there is a life that is eternal that is coming. It is everlasting life. It is prepared for those who love the Lord. And Paul said that The eye has not seen, the ear has not heard, and the heart has not imagined what the Lord has prepared for those who love God. And that's why we need to be heavenly focused. And to be heavenly focused, you need to discern your status in the world. Who are you? You are a stranger. You are a pilgrim in this world. Psalm 119, verse 19 reminds you that you are a pilgrim. You are a pilgrim in this world, and heaven is your home. You need to focus on heaven. That's why you need to work for your salvation and trembling. You need to work for your salvation with fear and trembling. This is Messiah Revelation Ministry reminding you of your home. Your home is not in this world. You are not of this world. You are a pilgrim in this world. You are here for a temporary period, and the period will end. And the decision that you make will be eternal. It will be eternal, either eternal life or eternal condemnation. Which one do you choose? Where do you want to spend eternity? You have to make that decision now. Thank you very much for watching this message.